Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How's everybody doing? No one's here. And cheers. Maybe a short live stream. Turn the fan down a little bit. I can hear it, even if you guys can't. Hey, Justin. How are you? Randy, how are you? Maui, how are you? Yeah, that's better. I know you guys say you can't hear that, but it sure works good. I'm just having a real problem putting out that video in that ultra 4K whatever, man. My computer just don't like it. And so I got to figure out what I'm going to do. That was for the Ubon trip. Anyway, I think I'll try to shoot again, but just in regular 4K and see. It didn't have a problem, but it's really struggling now. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't the top of the line computer, but I haven't had any problem with it. But that on that 12 has the ultra 4K. I mean, even when I put in my good cards that I shoot on my other phone or on my 9, it says get a faster card. And the card that the gal gave me, the 128, it didn't say that. So I don't know what the difference is. I have to show you. This one is the one that I'll get because I'm going to get a couple of these 128s. Really be careful on Lasada if you're buying them. They look absolutely perfect, and they're rip-offs, the packaging and everything. But this one here, which is the Extreme Pro. The other one that I have is the, let's see, I thought I had one out. I thought I had an extra card somewhere. Anyway, I should get it so that you can see which one's which. But anyway, this one here, it doesn't say anything like that on there. And I think for shooting the 4K, the 128, the other ones are only 32. So, what's up? How you doing? Pleased to meet you. Hey, James. But this one seems to be the ticket. And they're like 500 baht. The knockoff ones that you see for 150, 200 baht. I bought a bunch of them, and none of them worked. Especially in the GoPro, won't do it. But this one here seems to be a good one. The other ones I'll show you. It's the one that it's the same manufacturer, but it's the tannish color. But I just don't know what the name of it is. But anyway, let me put this back so I don't lose it. But this has all the Ubon on it. And it definitely, I should have pulled up. Let me see if I can find that one file, but it's so long. I mean, it won't download. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe it will. Let me see. It would be one of the last ones, probably right in here. Let me see what happens. Yeah, see, this one won't even play. I have to put it through the editor in order to get it to play. Because the files are huge freaking files. So I don't know if it's hey Tip, I don't know. Hey Daniel, how you doing? I saw you. Where did I see you? On the one guy that watches that does the games, I think, right? I forget his name. I watched him for a long time on and off. He was watching. He narrates the Dodger games or basketball games or anything. He's really a nice guy. I just can't. Daniel maybe knows because you were one of the first ones in on that. And I did get my. I found my lazy cup, as you can see, automatically stirs. I don't have to. I don't have to put a spoon in there. Oh, your English is good. But what was I talking about? Cards. Oh, it's just their files are huge. So it was basically for FC, whoever it was has a 75 inch, and I think Ron watches his on his 55 or 65, and some people do, but the what the 1080 and the 4K on a phone or on a pad, I have a hell of a time seeing any different. But I know and I believe the people that have a 65 or 75 can tell. But man, my computer just don't like it, and I don't have the money to, or I don't want to spend the money to buy another computer. So we'll see. Hey Logan, Jamie, how are you? I didn't get a chance to. You guys put it out. I got up at late this morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock, I think. Anyway, I didn't get to see them all. We're at our military ball. Oh wow, cool. Um, you guys have a video out, and I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I will. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I kind of like. I'm gonna see just shooting the regular. I don't have the microphone on it, but that's the setup now. And this battery is awesome. I mean, I can shoot all day with the battery here on and off and everything, and I haven't had any overheating. And I'm running this Comica slides in right right there, and this plugs into it. Um, but it was on Ultra. I'll tell you what it was. I've got that card in there. I don't know if you guys can see that. And the first thing when I turn it on, it comes here and it says, upgrade your SD card. Your SD card may be too slow for some settings. Use a faster card, V30 or higher, to maximize performance. And it gives me the option to not show it again. So this is in 16:9 4K 50 wide. And the other one was, oh, it's not there because I changed it. There's also a setting. That was linear too. I have a linear setting on there too. And this is the one. It's HDR 16:9 4K 50 linear. And that's what I shot it, and that really is huge. So I don't know what the difference between the HDR 4K and the 4K is, but we'll see. Because I'm going to shoot. I'm going to shoot in the. I'll shoot in wide, but the 16:9 without the USD. So anyway, but it charges the battery right up. That's in there. It did come with the one white heavy duty battery, and then I bought three of the other ones. I can set this up. I like this little tripod deal, and that battery is just you just turn it up and just sits down. It's pretty cool. Uh, I'm impressed by the simpler things the older I get. Hey, gorgeous, how you doing? Glad to see you. Haven't seen you in a little while. But yeah, so nothing on the exciting. I bought a set of golf clubs. I watched Chuck's video this morning, and he had went with the ones that one of his subscribers gave him. Um, and he went to the driving range, and he's liking those. And then I talked to Tim yesterday in Udon, and we ended up racing. I raced 3 races yesterday. Got the VR headset working, and you can't see it because they're right there. And I'll probably try one race after this because the golf clubs did come yesterday. So I'm thinking we have a military base, 9 holes, and they have a driving range. And my wife said there's another driving range over by her work. So I'll go check those out, and I want to hit them. I got a set of Callaways. I haven't hit a golf ball in 30 years. So this ought to be interesting. I'm hoping I lost all of my bad habits, but I don't think it works that way. But they do have hey Brock, how are you? They do have a professional there, and I always threaten to take lessons. So I'll see how I hit the ball, and we'll see. But the clubs, it's an old pair. They used to be top of the line. They're like brand new. So whoever had them, if they hit them one time, I'd be surprised. But they made that. It's the Hawkeye Callaways. It's a titanium, and they made it like right around 2000. So they're 20, 40, 25 years old, but they look brand new. So we'll see. There'll be plenty fine. And then I told Tim I'd come that way. I got Andrew I talked to or texted the other day. We're going to try to meet up for lunch next week. And then Bobby, I don't know if Bobby plays or Andrew plays, but what I'm going to try to do is use that as a reason to get me the hell out of the house. And they offer, you got to get a caddy, but they offer you can also rent an electric cart. And what I like about that is that when I first start going there, they have to drive it, is my understanding, the caddy or whoever. And I can say, hey, I'm going to walk, and then if I get tired after 10 steps, I'll get back in the cart and drive on. If I go further, and try to go 2 or 3 times a week if I can afford. I don't think it's that expensive. And I think it'll be fun. And then I told Tim that I'd come that way. I guess Chuck says he's going to, he had talked, Tim, Chuck's like 3 or 4, 5 days behind. He said, so Chuck, I think, and his mom are already, if they're not back, they're on their way back to Tatpanome. So he said, Tim golfed with him for 2 days. So he said that Chuck liked it and having fun. Since he has the clubs now, he's planning on doing a little more. So I go that way and play the courses over by him. Maybe go there. I know that Jim of Jim and Meow, I know he's coming back. So I told Tim I'd probably come his way whenever they get back before they go back to the U.S. All right, what did I miss? Sometimes video shot in 60. It's clear. Yeah, and the reason that I shoot in the 50 is it helps with the flickering lights here in Thailand. The 60 seems to help in the U.S., Randy. So that's the reason that I'll shoot 50. So you won't, if I go into like Taiwazadu or into a place, it won't have that flashing. It's not supposed to anyway. But I'm gonna probably go back to 1080. There was only one. I think at FC. I don't know if he's watching or listening or coming around, that has a 75-inch that he watches on. But I've been trying for 3 days to do this video on Ubon and having nothing but problems. I moved. Let's see. I moved to Bass Lake, or basically North Fork. I want to say in 2002, and I haven't played. I played before that, maybe a year before. So 25 years, I think, would be a safe bet. 25 years since I had a golf ball. And at one point, me and my cousin Joe, the one that passed from the Lou Gehrig's disease, we were going 4 or 5 days a week out in Simi Valley, Simi Hills, and playing. And I was okay. I learned how to play with my limitations, with my with my problems of turning. I never took lessons or anything, but I could shoot fairly decently. I don't think, like, you don't have to swing hard, you don't have to do anything. and I have more of that in my mind now. You just have to know what you can hit your clubs. Granted, you could be long off the tee, it helps quite a bit. But um, if you know that your 5 iron only goes 140 yards, and everything progresses from there, as long as you know how far it's going to go and you can hit it straight, you're in good shape. So we'll see. I've got a different mind click, but I always had a good time. I never got mad or got frustrated a few times, but never got mad. I always enjoyed it because in California we would go at sunup and nice and cool in the mist, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoy it. Put it that way. Hey Robert, how are you? Morning to you. Hope you're well. Oh, there's FC. Yeah, man, I'm still going to. I've got it in that one, like I said, is the ultra high definition 4K, whatever it is on that 12. And boy, man, I'm just having a freaking nightmare. It's been 3 days I've been screwing with it. Granted, not all the time, but trying to get it to optimize and into the program and stuff, it just doesn't like it, man. My computer's not. I didn't spend a ton of money on my computer. I love my computer. With everything else, it's fine. But even the 4K that I did off of the 9, I didn't have that problem. So it could be. I don't know. We'll see. But I want to get it out because I've got some good pictures of the koi and the pond are 12, some of them maybe 14 inches. And I've got some good footage of that in 4K. And so I'd like to do that. We'll have to see. But I will. But I'm probably going to try to shoot that 4K and try that, see what happens. But let's see anything else exciting happening. I'd like to go hit the golf clubs. I did find, I think, a motorcycle guy. Um, I think I told you guys where I'd done the tent camping and where I did the first trailer camping on my wife's boss's land. The guy behind there, I'd heard the sound of music, some Harleys and stuff going in and out of his place, and I guess he works on them and he's good. So on all of them, on the Hondas, on the Shadows, on all of them. So if that's the case, I'm going to try to go over there Saturday, give it to him, tell him to rejet the carburetors, get everything running so that I can ride it, and I'm kind of jazzed about getting out there on it and seeing how it does. I got the Forza um, battery charged because I haven't watched or rode it. Drove it over to the place, had it washed, and then went out to lunch with my wife the other day before yesterday. And so I'm ready to take off on that. I want to do a little trip on that. If I can catch Chuck before he goes, I haven't talked to Chuck yet. Before he goes to Koh Chang, I want to get him that crab because my little puppies are eating that thing up. The other dogs are kind of scared of it, but the little puppy digs it. So I got it for him when I saw his video with his friends in the United States. I bought 2 with the anticipations of giving him one for Brock will remember the name, the black dog. Hey Bruce, how you doing? Sent to USA. Thank you. But let's see. Yeah, that's right. I saw the pictures of you guys meeting up. I don't know when are you coming back, Maui? I know you've told me 20 times. Somebody else, I was wondering when Jim and Meow were going back to start their camping life or traveling or RV or whatever they're going to do. Because, like I said, I think Tim said that they're going to come back the end of this month, and then he thought they were still going to be here for a little while. So I'm going to get that way and definitely play with them. The kids are going to be here, I think, until the 5th. Shishu came back yesterday, and my mother-in-law and the oldest will come back tonight. They spent 3 days in Bangkok doing paperwork and other stuff they need for college stuff. That the youngest is 18 now; she's starting her first, and the oldest is finishing up her last. So Grandma had to go along and sign papers and do whatever she needed to do. So they'll be back. So if they want to go somewhere, we were talking about maybe trying to do a camping trip when I burnt myself at that, going over to that same place and actually going for a couple of days. So we might do that. And then my wife said that she has some days off in June, and we're going to take a week. I try to do every year is we make 2 and 3 day weekend deals, and then 1 week with the family, and then a 1 week with me and my wife. And she's got it. And I think it's going to be June or July, and I don't know where we're going to go. But I'm thinking if we've got a week, we should go to the Philippines, um, maybe Japan, and I'm talking about not all the same, but one of these places, and or uh, maybe excuse me, maybe Vietnam, something like that. Should get out of Thailand because Thailand we can do on 2 and 3 day jaunts. So I told her about going to the Philippines. I know I've been waiting for Chris to come. He was gracious enough to take me around. But if I've got a week, I can probably figure it out or talk to Chris on the internet and have him tell me where's a good place to start and where to go. Maybe go to 3 places in the Philippines for 2 days each, something like that. I don't know. Hey Jack, how you doing? Good day. Um, but we'll see. So I'm kind of looking forward to that because that'll wherever I'm going to go, I'm going to hopefully be on the water. Um, what else? Got this thing I think working. I'll check it out afterwards. Got the place pretty much cleaned up. I've got a couple of things up here, down here, and 3 or 4 boxes over on the couch that are empty. They just need to be given to my father-in-law. He sells them or whatever they do, cut them up, tie them up, and take them away. I think I've got most of the stuff. About 4 or 5 items that need to go in the trailer. So we'll see how that goes. Trailer's been plugged in. I'd like to get out in the trailer. If I don't do, or maybe even if I go to Udon, maybe I'll pull my trailer and find some place to put it there so that I can, whatever, get some, do something. I'd like to do some camping. There is, like I told you, there is one. I still don't know their name. Thai people, husband, wife, and daughter. He has the same truck as me, but in orange. He's got a bigger trailer, and they're going to some awesome places. So I just been kind of watching him. He just started. Might have, I think I talked about him before, 500 subscribers. But his trailer has that remote control too, man. I wish I had that option on mine because it's kind of cool. You just disconnect it and you can steer the thing, turn it around, lock one wheel, and spin the thing around, hitch back up, and go. So you can go anywhere you want pretty much and not worry about it too much of getting stuck, which I don't really worry about it too much. My next trip, I'm going to travel around and Livestream and have a great time planning underway. In the U.S., Robert, I'm gathering, not here, not in Southeast Asia. But so with the golf, maybe I'll go hit some golf balls. We'll see how after I get done with this and check on that, and just maybe go hit a bucket of balls. Just swing. I don't know how it's going to be. I'm sure it's going to be. It's either going to be really good or it's going to be really bad. I don't think there's going to be a happy a happy medium. But I do enjoy it. So, and if I do that, and if I can get out and go 3 times a week and get to the point where I'm walking each time, hell, that's pretty good exercise. If I go there 3 days a week and 3 days a week to the gym, I'd be a happy camper. Oh, let's see. Did I miss anything? Oh, there's Andrew. Do you golf, Andrew? Did you hear me talking about you, or your ears burning? Or I know that we had texted back and forth, but I was wondering because I bought a set of golf clubs. I got them yesterday, and I'm thinking about going down to the driving range. Maybe you're interested in doing that. I might go today and tomorrow. I don't know, but I don't know if you golf or not. But they got that little 9 hole right over in Surin at the Army base, and they have a driving range there too. and they've got carts and walking and caddies and everything. So I have to go check it out. Hey, Dowlow, how are you? Morning to you. I don't golf anymore. It's been, we're just figuring it out, 25, 30 years for me. So I don't know. Did you enjoy it? Is something you're thinking about? Get you out of the house for half a day and eat lunch or something. But yeah, it's been a long time. But I know that Chuck got him. Tim goes all the time. Jim goes all the time. Although Jim's going back to the States for a while. But I don't know if Bobby does or not. I would want to say everybody kind of does, right? I mean, he kind of been golfing before, but I thought it'd be fun. And the clubs were, I paid 35. I think I got like $100 into these Callaways and the bag and everything. He even threw in some 8 or 10 practice balls and a couple of tees, and need to get a glove and an umbrella. I think I have an umbrella. That would be it, just in case I get out there and get downpoured on. Yeah, you got bad shoulders. So do I. I do too. But you can always, I don't know. When I was playing, I could make adjustments for everything. You can always get around something and hit the ball a different way. Learn how to hit it that way to where it doesn't bother you. But if it's something you want to try, uh, but let me know. We'll go out and hit a bucket. I got the clubs. You don't need to, just grab one of those and we'll swing them, see what it feels like. Maybe I'll go, okay, I need to sell these. Uh, but I don't think so. I think it'll be good for me. You exercise all the time. I have a hard time motivating myself. And this would be a good thing if I could go out there, and even if I just went out one day and just hit some golf balls, and then maybe the next day went golfing and walked, a quarter of it and rode in the cart a quarter all the way up, maybe a month or two later to where I could walk the whole thing. It would be great. You were on the what, golf and stuff tour? Yeah, we had fun, man. We played Simi Hills all the time. Me and my cousin Joe, and like I said, I was decent, because I learned how to adapt for all my mistakes that I was making. The biggest thing for me to save any kind of strokes is you got to be good around the green. If you can chip and putt, uh, you can shoot decently. Um, and I always had a problem. I didn't practice enough. You need to practice chipping. But again, I'm retired. I could go every day. I'm sure they've got a little chipping green there for free, and buy some secondhand balls or whatever, 20, 30 of them, and just chip, you know. So we'll see. Knollwood. I played Knollwood too. Knollwood was a tough course, and I shot an 87 there. I think was the best I ever shot, and that was good, really good for me. Knollwood was challenging. Let's see. I golfed at Knollwood in Northridge. Got to the next hole. We lost all the clubs. Way in our peers. Tough course, Knollwood. Um, and Simi Hills grew into a pretty decent course. When they first put it in, it was kind of wide open. When all the trees and everything semi matured and stuff, it turned into a good course. I know absolutely nothing about this one. There's only one video on YouTube. If you put in, golf Serin, it comes up one guy. It's like a 2-minute video. Him and his wife. Now my wife is interested and might go on Saturday. She's not feeling good. I don't even know if she went to work today. Um, and she likes. I think she would like it. She likes games. She likes to, do stuff, and so she might. I said, well, just come out and see, So if she does it, I'll get her a couple of lessons, and she can go with me and on the weekend anyway, and do it. Yeah, if you can become good at it, man, is that's where you can save all your strokes. And a lot of times, because I kind of learned towards the end, and some have been watching. I've always tried to chip the ball up and on, and not chip and run, and hitting a spot just 6 feet in front of me, and get, and that's what you need to do. I need to stay away from trying to trying to put it up, a foot from the hole. Just do chip and run stuff. So I don't know. I've got a bunch of stuff in my mind, and see if I can get rid of. I come inside and out, so I bring the ball away around. I need to have a little guidance. So there, according to the their Facebook page or whatever it is, they have a pro that is there on staff. So we'll see. Yeah, exactly. That does help. But I always had a good time. We always had fun. In the valley, it would get hot, and we would try to get the first tee time at sunup. 6 a.m. Here, I imagine there's probably not many people golfing in the afternoon, so they probably go out early too. But I'll find out. And they do have. There was an online thing that you could, I think, set a tee time, and so I'll find out all that. So by the next time on Monday when we do the next live stream, I should have gone. I'll try to get a little bit of video. And hey, Louis, how are you, my friend? Glad you could make it. Oh, you're from Mexico. Damn. I'm still jonesing about going to Cabo. And I will. I think I can make it before I croak. I'd like to, one more time, like to come down there and see it. Like I said, the last time I was there, I think when you were in here at the last one, I was trying to think. God, it was a long time ago, 35 years ago. And so I'm sure things have changed. And then when I went there, it was things had changed since when I first went, 50 years ago. So I'm still jonesing about. That's one of the places I want to go. I want to go to Australia. A lot of places I want to go. But you were saying you were coming right before the 4th, right? I've got it. I think I've got it written down somewhere. So enlighten me again so I can make sure I've got it written. I do have a pen here now and try to keep a piece of paper. The Yeah, at this place that they advertise they rent them. The one that Chuck over in Tatpanome that he went to, they don't. He borrowed them from somebody else. I don't know about the ones in Udon. I want to say the majority, Bruce, do rent them. But like I said, I got a nice set of Callaways. They're older, are there longer clubs now? Yeah, but you'd pay 50 times more than I paid for this. Like $100. I got a bag. I got a full, complete set of clubs, four titanium, a 7, a 5, a 3, and a 4. A 7, a 5, a driver, a 4, a 3, a 5, and a 7. So I got five, woods, I guess, as you would still call them, for about $100. So it isn't like it's horrible. Like, oh my God, I spent, $1,000 on a set of clubs. So it isn't that bad. That's right. 7-4. Okay, cool. I'm keeping that etched in my mind. But yeah, so it's not like they're horribly expensive. And you can get way cheaper than that. You can pick them up for 45, $50. But like I said, this set is old, from 2001, maybe 2002. Top of the line back then. Real expensive clubs back then. And any of the Big Bertha stuff back then was real expensive. Do the new stuff go a little bit further and a little bit more forgiving and this and that? Yeah, probably. But for the money, I'll hit these and I'll let you guys know. But I don't think you have to spend more than $100. And there's no way that I'm going to put a set of shoes on. So I'm going to be playing in either barefoot, step out of my thongs and a John Daly type thing, or with my thongs on, and just have fun. So I think I got to go out. I'll probably spend another maybe 20, $30 on some golf balls, some tees, a glove, and that's it. So it's not horribly expensive. Golf clubs and pate. Yeah, and I'm sure that they rent them there. Got to go to Japan to the value for dollar exchange, one of the best ever. Thai people love Japan. Yeah, and I do want to go there. And like I said, I'm a freak because everybody else is going to be in I'm going to be up in the mountains looking looking at the koi in the ponds and the breeders up there in the hills. So, but I do want to go, and I heard that it was very reasonable or good time for exchange. I didn't look; it's been varying here. Let me see, 36.2. So it's actually went down. It was 37.2. So over the past like 4 or 5 days, it's went down one bot on the exchange rate. Um, but it's been fairly good. And gold is here 40,810 for a bot of gold uh, here in Thailand. So, um, but yeah, so I do. I want to go. That's on the list, and it might be. I mean, if I can find a good enough deal and we can fly out, and she's got time because she can go to any Southeast Asia country, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, I believe Japan, and all that without getting a visa or anything, just on her passport, 30-day immediately from Thailand, something like that. At least I don't know about Japan. Any of the other ones I do know. So we'll see. But I did hear that the exchange rate was the best it's been in a long time. But like I said, for me, I just looked at them. I looked for a couple of days, um, put out some feelers on some stuff, and then this one came up, and I said, okay, I'll take that. But I could have gotten older clubs, more beat up, for 1,500 baht, so $45 without a problem. I get 14 days in Japan, visa free. American get 90. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we would never go. My wife couldn't get away for more than 14 days. But I think I'm safe. But it she'd like it, I'm sure. One of those places. I've never been to the Philippines. She's never been to the Philippines either. And like I said, I've kind of been wanting to go there ever since my cousin passed. When he got to the point where I needed to feed him and he needed to be lifted on and off the toilet and that kind of stuff, I hired this Filipino guy. Was the best thing I ever did. What a great man. And he was half my size, and he could throw him. My cousin was a pretty decent sized man, and he could throw him around, and it was amazing. He ended up starting his own caregiving business and had more people coming from the Philippines. But I used to sit out in the backyard after we put him to bed, and maybe I'd cooked up a steak or something, and I'd cook him one or something, and he was telling me about it, and I, asked to get the same stuff. Well, what's it like? Bad, good? And he said, it's just like any other place. It's got the most gorgeous places you've ever seen and the biggest shitholes you'll ever want to see. But he said, on the most part, if you know where you're going, it's a very beautiful country. So, and that was back in 2014, something like that. So I've had it in my mind, just like when I went to 2015 and met the guy that was telling me about Thailand, that I wanted to come to Thailand. So we'll see. Uh, it doesn't seem fair. From Thailand, about a week would be great. The Philippines would be cool if you want a beach fee. Yeah, and I Jones for the water. So if I had my druthers right out of the gate, I'd want to go to the water. But I want now. It's kind of a toss up between I can go look at some freaking awesome koi and probably spend way more money than I want to. Japan would be a push against the ocean. So we'll see. I'm gonna find out though. Miss anything? Yeah, yeah, I've heard good things about that too. And one of the guys that used to come on here all the time, Chris, is retiring. He's been retiring. I think he's having some issues with getting retired. I haven't talked to him recently, but he spent a lot of times in the Philippines, and he had offered when we go. I was going to go by myself because it's really hard, when you go a new place for, we can only go for 3 days. We gotta hustle. Hell, it take me a day and a half to just get started to find out where I wanted to go for the first day. So and I would be on my way back. So Robert the same way had offered years ago to show me around Vietnam. Same thing. Go there, Robert. Go here, here, here. This is where you need to go. Sure, I could look it up on YouTube. And like I tell anybody that's watching now, if you're thinking about traveling any place in Southeast Asia, Thailand especially is Chuck and Paige's uh, channel. You know, No Time to Be Sad. You can punch in anything. They've been most places in Thailand 2 or 3 times, so it'll give you a good indication of where to stay, what it looks like there, give you all the good stuff. And there's a lot of good vloggers, that travel vloggers in Thailand. So to find out, but it would be much nicer, and it was nice of Robert to do the same thing to say that. I would just haven't had the pleasure of meeting him yet. Although it seems like I know him because we've been in chats and stuff now for going on, I think, 4 years, maybe longer. I don't know. Same thing with Andy, but I did get to meet Andy. Hello, brother. How are you? Hope you're well. I'm gonna have to check it out. So that's probably where we're gonna go. Real cheap flights. Money wise, wouldn't probably be as expensive because in my mind I'm going, if I do go to Japan and I see some nice Japanese koi, the chances are I'll probably purchase some, and they're going to be expensive. Um, I've been having fun with the pond. The pond looks awesome. The koi are awesome. The water quality, I did check on some stuff coming out of Japan on because I know that these towers are going to completely disintegrate in the sun. They're already, they weren't made for that. And the the company in China that I've been dealing with makes drum filters, and they also make moving bed filters all in one, and they make stainless steel uh, Baki towers, and they make that same stuff that the drums are made out of. Either way, and they said that the other one will last quite a long time, but it does get affected by the sun. So if I was smart, and when these things go bad, I'll probably bite the bullet and buy the stainless steel one. Um, they'll last forever. So we'll see. But as far as doing what they need to be doing, it's awesome. What I should need to do is get rid of those drums up there, which I paid a lot of money for, but maybe there's some way that I can incorporate them down and this front line from where I have that filter that I made, the pool type filter with the plastic in it. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. All that bay except for one in the end, or set a whole thing that's a drum and all the way down filtration, and then the pumps in the end and pump that out. But it has to be a gravity fed, and it'll have to be balanced. But it is possible. It's just going to cost money. Then I could just have the towers there. The drums would be off the top of the towers, and it'd be a lot cleaner. But maybe by the time 2 or 3 years from now, when those are sun beaten to shit, I will I'll do it that way and have it all broken out. I'd like to have another place to put the fish, but there I could make filtration. Oh, let's see, what did I miss? Andy's saying, yeah, I saw a lot of Andy. If you guys aren't subscribed, you need to subscribe to Andy. But a lot of stuff, and both when Andy was there and when, what was his name? What's the guy that was on the motorcycle for all? God, what was his name? My mind's gone. Anyway, he was here. He went to Vietnam. He went to Laos and Cambodia and whatever. Still on YouTube. I don't watch him that much anymore. But he rode that little 125 Dream all over Thailand, and big channel. But anyway, he had some good footage and stuff on Vietnam. So Trip says, I've been to Vietnam 25 years ago. I'd like to go again sometime. Yeah, I've never been there in modern times, so I'd like to see what it's like. What is the closest airport to you when you fly international? Do you take a flight from? Exactly. I take it from, it's about 55 minutes from here to Buriram, although there are rumors that they're going to be putting in a international, I don't know if it's international, but an airport here in Surin. So we'll see. There is one in Ubon, there's one in Udon, but the closest for me is Buriram, over to Bangkok, switch over to the international airport. You got free buses and a bunch of ways you can get between the two airports, and then out of there to back to the States or wherever you're going to go. Patty Doyle, exactly. Thank you. Um, but that's what I do. Um, no, I haven't. I could drive to Bangkok if I wanted to do that, but it's it's a I don't even know, an hour flight from Buriram there, and it cost me like round trip is, I don't know, $50. It's cheap, and there even is one that I used to take that my wife would drop me off right here in Surin at a Asia Air uh, um, van, and they would drive to Buriram and put me on the plane, and I'd go. So no one would even have to take me to Buriram. So I'd probably still do it that way, driving my truck, because I could take it there, leave my truck at the apartment, have them or the airport, I guess, but the apartment wouldn't cost me anything, and go. But I think the easiest way is just to fly out of Buriram. Dave, I started following you when you just finished settling for your first house build. You were recommended by another YouTuber whose name I should. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it's been a while, and a couple of people have went back. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Randy in person, but he grew up one town over from me, and I used to ride my bikes through Thousand Oaks all the time. I'm sure that I went blaring by somewhere he was at in the wee hours of the morning. But I'm looking forward to meeting Randy. When I went back for my mom's deal, I didn't get a chance to meet him, but I will next time. Or he's threatening to come the first part of next year, so we'll see. I'm in Vietnam. I'll meet you with anyone I know here on my channel and show you around. Yeah, Robert's just a good guy, but and that would be the best for me, Robert, because more than likely, unless I plan our once a year 7 day trip, because I have to, because my wife works, I have to kind of figure out where to go, what to do. We do at least one 7 day deal like we did when we went to Koh Chang, and now we'll do one. And I think June or July, my wife said she's got a bunch of days off, so we'll incorporate that in and into a 7 or 9 day venture, and probably the Philippines. I don't know. Maybe if you're back, who knows? Maybe Vietnam. I don't know, but it's so much easier for me anyway. Going someplace that somebody knows, you know, and Robert knows because his wife. In case you guys don't know, which I'm sure you do, his wife is Vietnamese, and they have a place in Vietnam and stuff. So Robert goes all the time. It would just be easier for me, to know where to go instead of trying to go blindly, like I did in Thailand. Although it worked out good for me in Thailand. So. Yes, he is. I have to agree with you on that one, Randy. But the let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put. I don't know. I'll put the link in there in case anybody wants to come. Or paste. Pop up. Yeah, there it is. Finish this, and I can have a little bit of my. This time it's not water. This time it's Coke. I didn't have. This thing sound all right? I know it sounds better to my ear when I'm back here instead of up here, but I have to move mine. I really dig the camera so far, Maui. If you're still watching, Haven't had any real problems, but I haven't used it that much either. Sounds fine to you? Okay, cool. Thank you, Randy. Uh, this one nose is itching. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much it for this weekend. Uh, Kids are coming home. They want to have or we're trying to do a sushi night on Saturday night. We did it once and it was fun. It was just me, my wife, and the two kids. Mom and dad don't want nothing to do with that. I made a cucumber salad with some fake crab in it. It's excellent. I have it 3 times a week now, and just a vinegar based sesame sauce, and then I made California rolls. We called them Washington rolls, but I made some rolls and stuff, and we sat there at the island in the kitchen and ate sushi. So I need to get some salmon and tuna. So we're going to go look at macro on Saturday. Hopefully, I'll take the bike over to the guy, the 750, and have him uh, finish that up for me, get it roadworthy. Everything else is okay. I wanted the guy just didn't know enough about the carburation on it. He did fine on putting the Dunlops on it, um, putting a new radiator on, and all that. But I want to put in an inline temperature gauge, which I've seen on Lasada, and I'll have this guy put it in so I know the water temperature because I just don't know enough about these the Shadow, the 750, the 400s, whatever 600s. I make all the Steeds. I think are all basically the same, but I think they make one that just goes right in the tubing, tube, clamp, and up to a gauge that you put on the next to the speedo or on the handlebars or something that will hopefully I can find that's one that's got a audible and a visual, big red light come on, so I know I don't want to hurt the bike, and then I'll take it towards on a 4 or 5 hour run. We'll see. Oh, you're young. um, but that, and then maybe go with my wife to the driving range. If she's not, like I said, she wasn't feeling good. I'm hoping she stayed home. But if I know my wife, she'll probably go in a little bit late, but she'll still go in. And she's just not feeling good at all. But and do that, macro that, and take the bike over, and I'd be happy for my Saturday anyway. And then, like I said, if I can get into the groove where I'd like to get out there to where I could walk 3 days a week. That would be awesome. My knees are going to be in pain. I'm just going to have to learn to live with that. I really don't want to have them chopped on, man. Unless I can lose more weight. If I can lose 25 kilo, uh, maybe I would think about it. But I've been in the back of my mind, even though my doctor said he don't like it or whatever. But they have stem cell stuff that they're doing with the knees now, and it's kind of futuristic crap and stuff. But anything to keep them from whacking me open and sawing my bones with a sawzall would be I'd be more open to. So I'm going to check into a couple options. That's the biggest problem. Sure, I'm out of shape and all that kind of stuff, but the pain that's generated when I do, it's like some days I could walk 10 steps, some days I could feel like I could walk 10 miles. It all depends on the day and how all that crap inside my knee is moving around and causing me pain. I have to figure it out. Hey, Mark, how you doing, brother? I didn't ask you. Do you golf? You're going to be here, retired soon. Uh, I'm looking forward to it. In case you weren't here earlier, it says that you were listening, but I bought some golf clubs, so I'm trying to. I believe Ron plays. Do you play? Well, new anymore? Yeah, it's old now. Old news. You play, don't you, Ron? I think golf. Um, because I know we were. Well, I don't know. I know we're going to go to Udon I'll be going there to play. So I don't know how far Udon is from you. Ah, cool. I'm not any good, but I don't know. It's been 30 years. So we'll find out either today. I bought a set of Callaways from, I think they're 2001 or two. They're like brand new, but they're titanium. But I'm sure they'll be fine. See if I have all my bad habits. I'll go. I'm gonna try to go to the driving range either today or definitely tomorrow and hit some balls and see what it's like. See how bad everything all the problems I had 30 years ago have mysteriously went away, or have I inherited a few more? Um, but I don't know how far you are from Udon, because that's where Tim is and that's where Jim is. Chuck is threatening to play more golf, so maybe I'll do something. You never know. Hey Scott, how you doing? Glad you could make it. Uh, hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? My attempt to play was an hour ago, but yesterday I went home. Cool. Yeah, maybe we'll have to when I'm coming that way. I'm just gonna keep them in my truck, so wherever I'm going, probably gonna have my truck with me. We're doing. Yeah, they have carts here, but what I figured for me anyway is go. It's on the army base, and I can go over there. And from what people have told me, and they have to drive the cart. You can't drive the cart, which is fine with me. But I want the ability to say, okay, just follow me. I'm going to try to walk for this hole or whatever, and then get in there and then build that up over a period of time to where I'm playing 2 or 3 times a week and walking the 9 and going early in the morning. It's real close to here. It looks fairly decent. Um, I'm sure I could go out there and have fun. But I used to have fun. I used to go with my cousin. We used to go 3, 4 times a week. Uh-oh. I have some bad film. Sister has been diagnosed with bone on her spine cancer. Yeah. Sorry to hear that, Andy. That nasty word there. I don't like that word. Uh, have a great course in Bangchang. Yeah, I figured if I come that way, at least that if you're there and whoever else is there, I'm sure we get some people to go golfing. Because once I get into it, if I especially I was always like I said, I was always decent. I just wasn't had a lot of problems. I didn't go. I kept threatening to go and to a professional and have them at least iron out, tell me what I'm doing wrong, so I could practice what I needed to practice. But uh, hopefully, I'll do that this time. I'm sure here in Thailand, the professional is going to be free. I mean, it's going to be very cheap. That's not good. And yet, an uncle had spine cancer. He was diagnosed after a trip to Thailand. Yeah, yeah, I don't like to hear that. Sucks. You're right. Ron's got it exactly right. Sucks. Yeah, it does. Everybody's saying hello. Saying sorry about that to Andy and prayers. Everybody's prayers, I'm sure, will be with him. But yeah, so I don't know. That's pretty much here. I did go and did I tell you guys that I went and got my license. That I looked at it and it expired the day that we drove to Ubon, and I got pulled over in a look for a license deal, the 10th. So anyway, I went with the kids. The kids drove me all over. In case you're going, I was trying to hit up Andy on what paperwork I needed. I know you can go to any hospital, but there would be a long wait. Any of these doctors that are in any town, um, general practice, they just have their own little deal. I think Shushu paid for it. It was 20 baht for them to fill out the piece of paper saying I don't have elephantitis, and they didn't even see me. I went up to the desk. Shushu needed one for her school. I said she just went back, She just got back yesterday. And we both needed the same paper that just says you don't have elephantitis, you don't have this, you don't have that, you're semi healthy. And they filled it out. It was 20 baht. And then when we did go, I found it out that I needed to go to immigration and get the paper that says where I live, that you get through immigration. I don't know the name of the paper. It's supposed to be free. Did I argue that I heard places charge 100, 200, 300, 400, 500? They charged me 500 for it. And I paid it happily to be done with it. And we went, got some lunch, went back there, almost failed the distance deal, the hitting the brake and seeing the colors I was fine on. And now I've got it for 5 years. But that's all they want. And about 2 or 3 copies of your passport. So your medical paper from a doctor saying you're not sickly, your from immigration stating where you live, and if you have a visa here, they have all the information. You don't need to bring nothing to immigration. I brought nothing. They look it up. They see your address. They see all that. You verify it. You sign it, and that's it. And then you go. Cost me under 1,000 baht for the 5 year, both motorcycle and car. 900, 890, 920, right around 900 baht, and then 20 for the deal. And if you want to include the 500 baht for the paper that's supposed to be free, you can include that or not. But so either 1,000 baht or 1,500, and that would be. I don't know about your first one. I don't remember going, but it was fairly easy back then. I imagine it was the same process, and now for 5 years, because they give them out for 5 years. There it is. Andrew's got it. Certificate of residency, which you probably could have told me, but I tried to get a hold of Andrew, but I think he was sleeping before I went. See, did I miss anything else? Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, that was it. Is that all you needed? Yours the same like me, I'm sure. Uh, but yeah, I could have went with you, and it would have been perfect. I would have got it a couple of days before mine had expired. Unbelievable. Yeah, I had the 2 year one, and now this one's the 5 year. I don't know what the next one is. I think they're all 5 years after that. I mean, I don't know if I'll be alive in 5 years, but yeah, to get the license. And I had both. I'm imagining Andrew had both also. He rides his bike. So yeah, same as me. Okay, cool. Yeah, and it wasn't bad. They took me right through, and I think Andrew was talking about he half a day or something, a couple hours, and that's here in Surin, and it's going to vary. Again, the disclaimer, if you're familiar with Thailand, just because what I did in Surin isn't the same thing you're going to do in Bang Chang or in Pattaya or in Buriram or in Tat Phnom, or it could be different. But more than likely, if you've got the copies of your passport, that certificate of residency or whatever that Andrew had said, and the doctor deal and saying you don't have elephantitis, you'll probably have 99.9% of what you need. For the first one, you need your current driver's license from your. Yeah, that's true. Exactly. 'Cause I had an international permit, but my international permit and my driver's license were both expired because when I went in, it was in the middle of the pandemic, and they said we're not giving out driver's license to Thai people, foreigners. No, we're shut down. Come back after everything's done. So when I went back, my international had already passed, but they took it and they did it all, and I got the 2 years test, other than the eye and color test, and yeah, just that. And then some people have to go watch the movie, some people don't. I went in and they pulled me out of there in 15 minutes. Said, "We got your thing here, pay," and they gave me my deal, and I was gone. But it's like a half hour, 45-minute video in the first one, and this one they didn't even say. There were some people in those rooms, but for me, they didn't even attempt to say we might, because I would have said, "Oh, come on, give me a break. Here's $100, buy a pizza." But 1 hour and 10 minutes, that's good. Yeah, and I don't know if people are familiar, but I've got my licenses, and Andrew has his. You walk out of there with your hard card, two of them. I had one for each, with your license in hand. So yeah, that's what they said. Fine. I showed it to them, and they knew. I said I tried to come in here, a year and a half ago, or something like that, and they did it. Thanks, Brooke. Yeah, no video for me either. They didn't even try to do it. If you don't have a license, you have to go through the whole shebang: written test, driving test, etc. Right? Um, and on the if your license isn't endorsed, this is on a first time thing. If your license isn't endorsed with the motorcycle like mine was, and is, I still have my California driver's license. Um, you have to go through all their tests on the scooter too. So because if you have your license, oh yeah, great for a car, but you're not endorsed with your motorcycle, and they'll make you do that, whatever. But you're in Thailand, you're retired, you just do whatever they tell you to do, and grin, smile, laugh about it, go have a beer, whatever it takes to have a good time. But it wasn't bad. So three items on the renewal deal: the copies of your passport, of course, your passport, the medical, and the residency, and about $1,000. In I think it was 800, 900. But do you remember, Andrew? What did you spend? My mind's so bad. It was like 890, or it was an off the wall amount, 930. But it was under 1,000 baht. But I don't remember what I paid the first time. My wife didn't have a license when I went the first time, but they gave her 5 years because she had one 10 years ago. And but the first time that we were driving out of Surin to go somewhere, we got pulled over and had to pay 1,000 baht because she didn't have a driver's license. I said, "You're 30." At that time, she was 38 years old, and you don't have a driver's license. Well, I did, but I don't now. So I had to pay uh, 35 or 4,000 baht for the school, the same that I paid for Sim. She had to take the school and the driving school, and then they take you over there, included in their deal, walk you through the DMV, whatever, make sure you have everything, and you walk out with your licenses. So, and I got to do that for Shushu too, because she's 18. I think we're going to try to do that before she goes back to Bangkok. You don't have a license, you have to go through. Oh, that's all right. That one. Did you consider changing your state residence to Texas, Florida, etc., so you don't have to pay California state tax? I could. I could. I think is Arizona the same way? Because I got friends in Arizona that I could get a deal. I thought about it because right now I changed to my cousin's house in Temecula, down towards San Diego way in California. But it probably would have been better if I would have 550, so 750. Mine was eight something, and I don't know why. Uh, did Florida than Texas more expensive than the original 2 year? Okay, Andrew remembers. I'm old and mine's gone. Andrew's same age as me, but he's sharp. But anyway, I don't know. I'll probably think about that again. I don't know what I paid on state, if I even had. I had to look because I just filed taxes for the first time in 15 years. Um, I filed 20, 22 and 23, and whatever it was, or 21 and 22. for the first time in ever. And I think I had to pay. I had to pay. I can remember. I don't remember the exact, but I should. I should think about that. Okay, Alaska. Okay, Nevada, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming. Who do I know anybody there? I don't know anybody. Nevada? No, do I know anybody in Nevada? I'll have to think about that. I'll look and see. And I'll look and see on my taxes. If I paid, you know, $20, I'm not going to worry about it. Um, but but it, I don't know. We'll see. I still haven't. Maybe I'll go on and find out if they. I haven't paid for my deal yet either. I filed through a company that I found online. See if they did accept it. He filed, but they hadn't put it all together yet. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Scott. Uh, but yeah, I'll see if it was a lot of money or not. But yeah, taxes and shit. Because I just, I don't think I should have to pay any taxes whatsoever. Um, and I didn't when I was on Social Security disability, and I didn't have to claim my AFLAC account. And I told you guys the story before. If you're younger and you're watching this, if you've got an AFLAC type thing, mine was through Cigna. It was $99 a month. Pay it yourself, because if my boss would have paid it for me, I would have had to pay taxes on that. Because I paid for it myself, I don't have to pay taxes. Why? I don't know. That's just part of the government tax system. So I didn't have. That's why I haven't paid taxes. I didn't make enough on Social Security disability to warrant paying taxes. So now I have both. I have one of my retirements came in when I turned 65. So I've got which rolled over now. I think when I turned 67, I think it rolled from Social Security disability to regular Social Security. And I have one of my retirements, and that went above the mark. So they want a couple of grand or something. I think it was 2,500. And I just did simple. I have no deductions. I have nothing. But one thing I know, I hate paying taxes. And this is money that, I paid in, for Social Security and stuff, and my retirement. So I just find it funny that why am I getting taxed again on money that I don't know. I guess I don't know enough. Let's see. My daughter's fiance registered his truck in Arizona, although his house is in California. He literally paid. Yeah. And my cousin, who buys and sells stuff all the time, he said you can take any car and go to Arizona, and like, let's say there's a car here that's way back behind on its California registration. You can drive it to Arizona, get a residence or whatever you're going to have in Arizona, and Arizona will register it for near nothing. Okay, and you might owe 2,500 in back stuff in California. Um, it, he said you can do that with anything. He's done his boats, and he's got an address in Arizona. But yeah, I heard that same thing. It's crazy, crazy. California just sucks in every possible way you could think of, in taxes and being on the border, just everything. They're a bunch of idiots running the place, running the country. I don't know. I go on and on and on, but I don't have to because I don't live there. So yeah, why would you? I don't understand. I it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's not like I'm making 300,000, $500,000 a year. I'm making minimal nothing from the two, maybe 60 or something, 50 something. You know, uh, I'm just, I don't understand it. Yeah, exactly, for sure. And I've been trying for years. And if my kids wouldn't have been in Central California, and and I would have went somewhere. I probably would have went to Phoenix. I would have definitely got out. We had talked about it me and this one, for a long time on getting out of here and getting out of all the bullshit. But she didn't make it. Uh, I did. I'm in Thailand, but I'm still getting taxed. So I don't know what to do. I'm hoping that they come to their senses. They got people out there that are living on Social Security and they're only getting like $1,100 a month. Which to a Thai person would be, hey, we hit the freaking jackpot. But you can't even meet, a visa here, retirement visa in Thailand on that. So there are people out there that need the money, and they're of course just like before they're. Well, my wife is. She didn't go to work. Good. She's watering her plants. That I don't understand it. I don't understand how they expect people to live there when on $1,000, $1,200 a month in the States. That's why I say, is it possible to do here? Yeah, it's not going to be the greatest thing in the world, but it's going to be better than being homeless if you're not living with your son, your uncle, your cousin, and five of you got together to retire and rented one place, for 2,500 a month for a 2-bedroom house or something, and that's probably low, but it makes it insane. But here it is possible. I mean, I was just seeing 200. I think it was Alex did one on where was it? I don't remember exactly where it was, but I think they're in Pattaya or John TM. John TM, $200 for a 1-bedroom in a condo, including gym and all that. $200. So, like I said, you don't have to go and look at everybody's channel but I'll probably end up doing one again every year on cost of living here. But it doesn't take brain surgery to deduct from that, how much it's going to cost when you're only paying, $20 for internet, $5 for water, $25 for electric. You go out and eat your food. I wouldn't suggest, and I've said this before, have your snacks there, the mama noodles, the stuff you can go, I'm hungry. Let me boil some water and pour it on here. Or stuff this in the microwave. Some frozen stuff, cookies, crackers, peanuts, snacking stuff, and go out for 3 meals a day for $5 a day. Um, and they're decent meals. Nudon and krapao, pate. You can get for $30 30 baht a plate, or something, and eat your 3 meals. Because, like I said before, I always overbuy when I'm cooking. I end up throwing away. I spend 500 baht for what I'm going to eat that night, and I throw away half of it because I made too much and I didn't want to eat it the next day. Anyway, once you get here, you can do that. You can live on $1,200, $1,500 a month. What is it that you got to meet for deal here? Is it's 800,000 divided by 12, 66. So 67,000 baht. So 67,000 divided by 36 is 1,861. So even, just to meet retirement stuff. So even at 1,500, yeah, you could live here, but you're going to have to scramble and go around how you're going to get your visa, what visa you're going to use. Just don't try to sidestep the stuff. If you get an education, if you can get an education visa, hey, great. But don't do it and then try to snake out of it and do it through a shoddy, be on the up and up. And there's a lot of different visas out there if you can't meet financially the one, which I think is crazy. So you're going to alienate somebody because they're only bringing in 15 versus 16, 17, $300 more a month, but they're going to spend 1,500 probably here every month. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Granted, like I said, that's up to Thailand and what they want to do, but I just think they could get more people coming in to the country if they lowered it to to, let's say, what 12 would be. Now, if you were, I think even if you were on a marriage visa, you'd have to pay 400 twice, right? So I don't know how that works. Maybe you only got to pay 400. So if you got a marriage visa, then you would qualify if you were married to a Thai person or something here in Thailand. But I think 1,500 would be fine, and I don't know what that would be. I mean, that means bringing into the country 1,500, 1,500 a month times 12. Come on, times 18,000 a year uh, into Thailand. No, nothing wrong with that. Let's see. All right, I'm running behind. For what? For marriage, maybe. For it has to equal the 800,000. I think it's 67,000 a month. That's what I used to do. Although I brought in money because out of the last time when I went, the lady said you took so much money in and out of your account because we were building a house that you've been here for 3 hours. The 3 hours of that time we've been highlighting all your deposits coming in from out of the country. She said, "Do you have any money?" I thought she was going to try to shake me down, and I said, "Well, yeah, I got a few bucks." She said, "Well, if you've got 800, put it in there. You would have been out of here 3 hours ago, and just leave it in there." So that's what I do now. But it was 67 a month, I believe, for the retirement visa. If that's what you were saying. Joe's here. Hey, Joe. How you doing, brother? Hope you're well. Who did I miss? Um, okay. So I don't know what you were saying on that, but I know they're threatening to raise that to 1.2. Although they've been saying that for years and years that I've heard, and they haven't done anything. So it's 800 for retirement visa. It's 22,000. It it's 67,000 baht a month. And like I said, the way that it reads too, I would always bring in more than that if I was you, if you could afford that. But it it reads a total and or an accumulative is the way that it reads. But that doesn't mean that they're going to understand it that way. And I'm talking about different immigrations. So always make sure the best way to make sure because you could miss 3 months and then put in three times 67 and you're caught back up to what you were doing. And as long as it adds up to a total amount, they should accept it. I wouldn't take the chance. I would make sure I bring in more than 67 each month, which I did make sure of that. Yeah, and that's way more than you'll ever need to keep there, right? No, well, that's right because what is a million is like I don't know what a million is. Six. Okay, 1 million divided by 36, 27,700 at the exchange rate. Uh, so yeah, you're bringing a couple of million baht, and that I feel comfortable. For a while, I was leery. Do I want to bring it in now? I feel more confident having my money here than I do in the United States. Hey, Bobby, how are you? I was just talking about you. Where'd you go back? It's so cheap here to live. Where in the United States? Is that what you're saying? Do you golf? That was a question I was going to ask you. I haven't seen you in a while. I bought a set of golf clubs. I got them yesterday. I'm going to go hit them. They have a driving range at the Army place at a nine hole course. Andrew hadn't went in a while, but he says he's got a bum shoulder. So do I. But I didn't know if you golfed. I think you do, right? Everybody kind of golfs, right? They go out there and hack around. I don't know. Yeah, well, so do I. Well, good. When you get back, maybe it's because I was thinking they have a cart there. Granted, you have to pay like 500 baht for the thing or whatever, but I don't care. But have the ability, somebody will drive you. You can't drive it or something. Then I can start walking, so I can walk 10 steps and say, okay, let me back in the cart and then go up the next hole. Let me try to walk this hole. and get to a point, if I go 2 or 3 times a week, of walking 9 holes 3 times a week and having fun doing it. So we'll get together when you get back. I think you're coming back in October, right? I think. Bobby, are you in Mexico? Is that what you're talking? Is it really cheaper? What are you doing? What did I miss? I gotta go back and see if I can find something. Yeah, because it's 400 a year for marriage, 800 uh, for a. So it'd actually be half of that 67. So it would be what 34, 35,000. Be even less than 40. So so Bobby did say something. I just missed it. Hi, Dave. Okay, Dave, not anyone I missed. Cool. I'm glad that you. It looks like you're having fun. We haven't had a chance. You haven't made a live stream, so we haven't had a chance to wrap in a while. Hey, John, Paul on the go. If you guys aren't subscribed, please do. But it was really weird because I was going to talk to John about an interesting thing I was thinking about last night. I don't know why I was dreaming about stuff, but I'll have to talk. I'll talk to you privately about it when you come here sometime on how my thoughts and everything about the whole way that when I came up about law enforcement has changed drastically from even probably 25, 30 years ago. It's an interesting topic that I wanted to talk to you about. Um, so I'll probably freak out a bunch of people if I talked about it before. So I'll talk to you about it first. Maybe we'll get a little one way live stream going, or not a live stream, but anyway, where no one else can see it and we can still see each other. We'll wrap about it because it's interesting because back in the day, even to if you were associated with people or the way that I was kind of brought up, you didn't involve the police in anything. It was that you would be shunned upon at the least, maybe more so. And now I think it's interesting. We'll have to rap about it one day. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because I know you would be interested in it because it's from my point of view of being around maybe a 1% mentality, uh, growing up to what I'm at now, which I don't. I still live my life the way that I want to live it and could care less whatever the people think. But certain parts of that have changed. So grew up in an age. Yeah, I bet. And that's the way what I wanted to talk about. It's like I have a different outlook on certain people. Like I don't want so much so do I want to live my life as an outlaw or the way that I want to live my life, but I don't want anybody to tell me who I can and can't talk to. Does that mean that I'm a rat or a snitch or no? But why do I have to be controlled by any limitations, which I don't, now, but that's my life now. It's like, if I'm with someone in law enforcement or whatever, they're out riding motorcycles, am I going to say, I don't want to ride with you, you know, and especially if I like them, now if they turn around and they go, yeah, hey Dave, can you tell me about this guy? I think he's doing drugs and, say, I don't know what you're talking about. Go away. When you can ask me the correct question, I'd be happy to answer something that's not that. You get my drift. It's like that doesn't mean anything. There's decent people are decent people. Doesn't matter who or what they do, whether they're riding motorcycles or police officers or whatever. They're decent people, and even like there's rats, okay, which I think are subpar, okay. But does that mean that do I give anybody any credit that they're in the ATF that infiltrated a club and put their life on the line? It's a whole different thing from being a rat. That's their job. And if you didn't, research them enough or feel something that's wrong or whatever, then you got popped. But I'm just saying, in my type deal, it was just if, like in John's thing, I'd ride motorcycles with him anywhere he wants to go. Now if he wanted to ask me about somebody I'd know, I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know that guy. you know. But I don't think the person would, you know. And if they did, they would take my answer and say, "Okay, I understand," you know. But um, I don't know. It just would be. I thought it would be an interesting thing to rap about. Been under club rules for so long, and now free to be who I want. Riding free. Yeah, I mean, does that make anybody a different deal now? Do I shun police officers like I did maybe 35, 40 years ago? And no, I don't now. You know, you couldn't pay me enough money to be a police officer walking around with a big giant target on my back with crazy people running around. You couldn't pay me enough money to do it. But uh, yeah, I understand the concept of not want of having that type of a structure in your club or whatever. But to me personally, out riding by myself or being the person that I am, like I said, I think I have the outlaw mentality of I'm going to live my life any way I freaking want to, and ain't nobody going to tell me any different. But above and beyond that, like I said, I would never ever. I've always in my life, and the things got really bad and tough for people when the laws got so they went from doing 2 or 3 years on something to doing 25 to life, you know. Well, in my mind, whenever I did something that I thought was shady and I could get in trouble and I could go to jail, I weighed it, said, okay, if I get popped, this is what it's going to cost me. It's going to cost me 2 or 3 years of my life. Okay, I accept that, and I'm going to go ahead and do it. Um, People had done that, and then the laws started changing. And you're talking about you grab a 35, 40-year-old guy and tell him that little beef that he just did that he would have got a year or two for is now 25 to life. You're talking about I'm 40, I'll be out when I'm 70. 65, they might question it. And still a rat to me because you made that decision. You should be a man. You should stand up, and do it. But uh, do I blame some people? And do I see why they do it? That's why they do it. And I'm sure that's why law enforcement put those nice, big, hefty deals in there. Okay, I'm done. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I still have friends that brotherhood and knowing my brothers will drop in. Yeah, exactly, exactly, and that's what I think. A lot of because I watch Christie and stuff, and I met him 2 or 3 times because we went over to Ventura quite often, and most of the, like I said, he's rapping about a bunch of stuff that's basically anybody can go find out about, So he's not like he's not crucifying anybody from what I see, you know. But it, he's saying that the Brotherhood and a couple of the guys that they Pee Wee and some other stuff that I know you probably watch a lot of these YouTube interviews and stuff. The Brotherhood's gone, man. It's like. And I think George has it right, that that's why he left was because he was against the people that they are now turned into, type thing. And uh, but the biggest thing for me was brotherhood, and you have that exactly right. There's nothing better than to go anywhere you want to go and know that there's 20 behind you and 1,000 to 1,500 to 3,000 that'll come if you holler loud enough, and they'll all be there willing to lay down their life for you. That's what I want, and I never got that far because I was a prospect for 11 months. I was this close, literally, and I just was losing my business. I said no, and it was a good decision. it was the right decision for me. My wife moved me out of Southern California. We went up to Bass Lake, and it was a good thing. I needed to do that. I was definitely veering off the wrong way, but yeah, I just thought it would be interesting because if you guys aren't, John is, are you still, you're ex law enforcement, you're retired, right? And so he has a different perspective, but now he has more of a perspective. I think it would be cool. We'll have to rap someday about it if you ever want to. By all means, I'd be up for that for sure. But like I said, a lot of the guys that are out there, especially from what I see in the Hell's Angels, people they're putting out bad just left and right, and a lot of guys have been there a long time. A lot of guys that I knew about and heard about and actually met, they're stand up guys, uh, and don't make sense to me. It makes more sense to me that they're all talking about that the brotherhood's gone, and that would be a sad thing to see. Retired, but had the same opinion when I came home from the army. Join or go a different path. Yeah, yeah. And I don't regret anything I did when I was running around. I had fun. All the guys a lot of the guys that I was around then have sadly passed away, and most of those were Satan slaves. Because in SFV where I grew up, that's all that was there when I was. Because I had my Sportster chopper when I was 15 and a half, and I had my Panhead when I was 16 and a half. So all the guys that are passed and gone now, Dana and Tiny and all them out SFV were just some stand-up guys, really good Peter, Painter Joe, all of them, good guys. I had a lot of fun. Wasn't as horrible as a lot of people make it. Was it a pain in the ass? Yeah. Did I have to get up in the middle of the night and go here and there and do whatever I was pretty much told? Yeah. But even then, even when I became a prospect, I knew that they had my back. And they basically told me that at the time, too. We've got your back. Um, but yeah, a lot of interesting things I'm sure we could talk about, John. And even if not, if we don't do that, when you do get here, maybe we'll go on a ride somewhere. We've been threatening to do that, so we'll have to do that. Let's see. Okay, I rambled. What did I miss? Anything? Uh, all good, Joe, and good day to Bobby. Um, yeah, he was a big boy. Just a good. If you guys ever, if you look on, let's see, what is it? What is he under? His name wasn't Tiny. His name was Harlan, actually. But if you go in Tiny the Beautiful, if you put in Hell's Angels, Tiny the Beautiful, uh, he was just a 1% badass, uh, hell of a man. And me and him became really tight because the year before they had the big shootout in uh, with the Mongols in God, how come my mind's going south on me? Anyway, well, on the way back from that run, Laughlin, sorry, um, I was a prospect, and there was 7 or 8 of us, and the guys went by, and his bike broke down, and I saw him, and I faded back, and I just made prospect, and went off, and things were still volatile the year before, and I was there. I was, just me and him, and he MF'd them other guys, and me and him for 6 hours sitting there. By the time I got those guys, they went back to the valley, got a truck, brought it back, almost 3/4 of the way to Laughlin, and we just talked about brotherhood, and you'll see the kind of a guy he is. I mean, he's a no nonsense man, you know, and he loved me from that point on. And even on the way back, then because I'd been burnt out, I'd been in Laughlin for 2 days doing everything that everybody wanted me to do. And I just wanted to go home and go to sleep. And I said, okay, I'm going to peel off, because he lived in one end of the valley, I lived in the other end. And he said, oh, no, no, no. I don't trust these MFers to take my bike out of the back of that truck. You're the only one I trust, and blah, blah, blah. So it was good on one point, then bad on another, because he didn't want any of those guys to have anything to do with him, which was bad for them. But I had to go over to his house, orchestrate getting the bike off the truck and put it in, and then I finally got to go home. But he passed away a couple of years after I had left, and I didn't find out about it until later on. And kind of sad. I would have liked to. I would have went back to. I would have went back to the valley to go to that funeral. Yeah, Randy St. Laughlin. You guys were all in my mind. The older I get. Your uncle was there. Really cool. Yeah, I went. It was the year that I was a prospect, and I don't remember. I could probably look up stuff, but my mind's so bad with the years. I think it was 2002 that the shootout was, and in 2001, it was the year that they had the USA run was in Missoula, Montana, and I went to that USA run too. So like I said, I had all the boxes marked. I was this close, and everybody said, just vote him in now. And I said, man, they couldn't do that. And I just needed to, my business was going down the tubes. I ended up losing that business too. Because it's demanding. I mean, everything that comes first before anything, which was okay in the brotherhood aspect of it. When the brotherhood stuff went further away from me, it was like, it was sad. Like I said, all these guys, and most of the guys that, if you're familiar with the Hells Angels and you're familiar with the stories, the Satan slaves rode up to Oakland as Satan slaves and came back as Hells Angels, the only ones to ever do that. And they were the dominant club. The question marks. Um, what else was there? Anyway, they were it. And like I said, all of them, and all the names are popping around in my head. But I'm going to say a lot of them have went on. So, let's see. But that was a intensive, that and Hollister and other ones, because we had SFV had the best shirts and all the best support wear out of any of the Hells Angels that I saw. Just amazing. And it was, I think they were about the biggest at one time. And I mean, we rented actual storefronts to put our stuff in, not just little lean-tos on the side of the road type deal. We actually rented an open building and stuff like that. Gilroy and Hollister and um, Laughlin, we were out and just the way Laughlin. Anyway, I'm talking about stuff and watching everybody leave. But it was demanding if you were a prospect. I'm just sticking with the with the 750 right now. I want to get that going, get it up. The bobber's still there, and there's one bike that I was looking at, Harley. But I want to drive the 750, and I like that bobber, and that was a $135, and I don't. That's still a possibility. I'm going to see what this guy. If this guy can work on those water cooled V twins, um, then I have no problem in getting that 1400 and the 750. I might do some modifications on the 750, but I've only ridden it twice. It has enough power. It's 45 cubic inches. I mean, so it's driving an old 45. Is it fast? Probably not. Is it fast enough for this old guy? Probably. And it probably will give me the little jonesing I'm having for that pop, pop, pop sound, sound. But that's about it. Um, Was it that what it was? April 27, 2002. So it was 2001 was the year that um, was the last year I was there, and when he broke down on the way back. But he was a hell of a guy, man, hell of a guy. But like I said, it's just said Dana was the one that was. He'd been president a few times. He was in charge of all. He a Satan slave too. There was trying to think in my mind. I'm thinking there was 10, 10 Satan slaves still there in 2001. And the thing that freaked me out was when I watched the deal when it came on the news. If you ever seen that footage, there's one deal where they're all outside and they're laying face down on the floor, and it was all SFV uh, guys. And I'm going, man, I thought they were dead, and I was freaking out. And I'm trying to dial the phone, and as I'm watching it, all of a sudden I'm seeing some of the guys moving around. So they just had them down there, going to put them either under arrest or whatever, break them loose or whatever they were doing. But boy, it freaked me out. Uh, yeah, big time stuff. And a lot of the guys, like one of the guys that came to SFV, actually ended up living at my house. Thomas was from Denmark, and the stuff over in Europe and in Canada and stuff like that. And in Europe, I mean, the stories. He was a younger guy, and he kind of frowned. Although he liked me. I was 40 years old or whatever back then, and so I was old compared to he was a mid 20s, you know. Been around another club then with the Hell's Angels, but I mean, you're talking rocket launchers into the clubhouses and shit like that. It was a whole nother level in both Canada, I believe, and in Europe. Not to say that there haven't been grenades and stuff, you know, tossed into clubhouses in California, but nothing like the stories I heard about over in Europe. All right, what has it been? An hour and 47 minutes. How do I do this? I'm amazed. I amaze myself. There's still 12 people here, which is good for me. You guys are awesome. I think I'm going to end this and maybe try to go and hit a bucket of balls and see what that's all about. But you guys are awesome as usual. I guess I'm supposed to say this. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. We have a lot of fun. We talk about Thailand. Sometimes we talk about crap we just want to talk about. But for the most part, a lot of the people here have been in Thailand for a while, can answer some questions, and I'll put that out there with you know, always check, no matter if it's me or whoever. Hey, thanks, Joe. Always always check with the government on visas and whatever you know you want to do. But you can at least get pointed in the right direction here if it helps you out. So thanks again, Joe. Thanks you, brother. I appreciate it. Um, Again, John, if you're still here, I know you're going to be coming this way soon. But if you want to send me something and we can wrap on the StreamYard deal, that would be kind of cool too. If not, we'll meet face to face eventually. If you guys aren't subscribed to John Poe on the Go, by all means do. It's definitely worth it. And if you haven't ever heard this from me, Richard from Richard Travels did my intro and outro on my live streams, and I just want to thank him as I do at the end of every one of these live streams. And I will look up here and say, hope everybody has a great morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are. And I will catch you on the next one.